Hello everyone. So in this video, let's talk about a condition called as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is highly discussed as a primary root cause for occurrence of IBS or irritable bowel syndrome. When it comes to the bacterial overgrowth, the presence of bacteria are normally seen in the large intestine. If you really look at the amount of bacteria present in milliliter of the juices or fluid, in the stomach it's about 1000 bacteria are present per ml of stomach fluid. When it comes to the small intestine, it's about 10,000. When it comes to the large intestine, it's more than 1 trillion of bacteria present in per ml of fluid present in the large intestine. So the main location for bacterial buildup is primarily in the large intestine. When this bacteria grow within the small intestine or when there is a increased production of bacteria or growth and multiplication of bacteria that happens in your small intestine, this particular condition is called as a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, because small intestine also contains very little amount of gas. When it comes to the location of gas buildup, the primary reason for you to get bloating and pain is because of this gas buildup in the small intestine, because it's a very tricky site for the gas to expel from the body. When it comes to buildup of gas in the stomach, it normally comes out through the oral route. When it comes to gas buildup in the large intestine, it can actually just go through the anal route. Whereas when it comes to the small intestine, the gas is literally getting trapped in there. And any medicines that you take for gaseous distension, what it does is it only helps in breaking down the gas, but it doesn't really completely remove the gas buildup from the small intestine. And when there is increased production of gas, this can definitely cause various inflammation in the body. Okay, and even within the membrane of the small intestine, which can then further lead to leaky gut syndrome, like your mucous membrane gets damaged, and you will actually get an intolerance of a lot of different food stuff. And all these things can actually just lead into either constipation or diarrhea, because there is partially digested food, so you're not able to eliminate this food from your body. Okay, so this can also happen when there is increased intake of antibiotics, because when you are actually on antibiotic for longer period, this can also destroy the normal bacterial flora, and also it can destroy the balance between your healthy bacteria and also or the friendly bacteria and the disease forming bacteria. So it can create a total dysbiosis in the mucous membrane of your intestine. And so these are the major causes for this, and this can also happen. This kind of intestinal bacterial overgrowth can also happen whenever there is a comorbid condition like autoimmune conditions or hypothyroid or even Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It can also happen with diabetes. So all these different conditions can also result into this dysbiotic situation or bacterial overgrowth, resulting in increased permeability of your intestine, which can also lead into a lot of deficiency of nutrients. It can also lead into toxic buildup in your blood. So this can lead into many other conditions, including autoimmune conditions. So it's a vicious cycle. Because of an autoimmune condition, you can actually get IBS, or because of improper functioning of your small intestine and bacterial overgrowth, that can also lead into autoimmune conditions as well. So we need to ensure that the gas production in the small intestine is minimized by way of positive lifestyle, good exercise, and also eating properly. There are certain food stuff that needs to be avoided, and all these things we'll be discussing in the coming videos. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone. So in this video, let's talk about the natural defense mechanism to treat IBS or to fight a condition called as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is the root cause of IBS. So these structural defense can be, or the natural defense can be classified into structural defense, chemical defense, and also increased motility. So Structurally, we know that the small intestine is connected on the top with stomach and on the bottom with the large intestine. And this connection or this junction establishes two different valves. On the top, at the entry point between the stomach and small intestine, you have something called as the pyloric valve, which only opens from stomach to small intestine, so that the contents of the stomach is pushed towards the small intestine. Similarly, from small intestine to large intestine, we have a particular valve called as ileocecal valve. And this valve ensures that the small intestinal contents are flown into large intestine. Okay, so there is no backward flow, and that is to be ensured, so that we know that there is no bacterial growth that happens from the large intestine to the small intestine, or there is no content of the small intestine is actually getting pushed into the stomach. So this is actually one of the safety mechanism which are anatomically designed and naturally designed. Second is the chemical factors. And when it comes to chemical factors, we have already discussed earlier about maintaining optimum pH of your stomach acid is very important to destroy the microbes. We get a lot of microbes that enter in our body through the mouth, through the food that we consume and through the drinks that we take. So we have this particular chemical called as the hydrochloric acid, which is present in your stomach and in the intestine. This helps in ensuring that it kills all the microbes, kills the bacteria, and also it ensures that it improves your protein metabolism and digestion. And we have other enzymes which are mainly derived from saliva and pancreas, and these enzymes are responsible for facilitating the carbohydrate metabolism, because especially in the SIBO condition, this is actually what happens. The metabolism of carbs is really compromised. Then the third chemical is basically the bile acid, which comes from the gallbladder. And the bile is responsible for aiding and facilitating the fat digestion and metabolism. So these chemical transmitters or chemical agents need to be functioning optimum, so that naturally you have a defense against any bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine. Now thirdly, the motility of your intestine. The intestine, our small intestine is almost like a 22 feet long structure. And we have the wavy movement that happens in your entire gastrointestinal tract, which is called as the peristaltic movement. So every 90 minutes, there is some propulsive movement that happens from the stomach into the small intestine and then towards the large intestine. This is called as a migrating motor complex. And this needs to be functioning properly every 90 minutes interval, so that the toxins, bacteria, food particles, after digestion, everything is getting cleared in a proper way. And there are a lot of factors that can compromise this particular movement of your intestine. One of the things is the stress. We know that stress predisposes into IBS, because when you are highly stressed, it automatically increases the sympathetic stimulation, and this can reduce the motility of your intestine, and that can also create a platform for the overgrowth of the bacteria. And there are other things like food poisoning is actually another thing which causes a lot of inflammation, and also it destroys the mucous membrane. That can also cause buildup of the bacteria. Other factors are basically the continuous use of antibiotic, because it can create a dysbiotic condition in the stomach, where there is an imbalance between your healthy bacteria and also the pathogenic bacteria. So these three are beautifully designed, and if they are working at the optimum level, your structural defense, your chemical defense, and the motility of the intestine, if these three things are working at the optimum level, then you can be assured that you will not have a condition where there is increased overgrowth of bacteria. And this needs to be maintained, and this needs to be managed by positive lifestyle, which we'll be discussing in the coming videos. Thank you for watching.